This is Mad Spotter. This is the upgraded version. So Mad Spotter 2.0. Before you lift, 3 essential tips to get the most of your Mad Spotter hooks. Start light.
Yeah, buddy! Wait!
So, received this a while ago. I used the previous version.
Holy Jesus. What the f is that?
So this looks pretty damn cool. Hoover. All nice and clean. Very stylish. It's like a race car. It does look good. Yeah. So this is nylon. And this is the kind of major change in the design compared to the previous version of Mad Spotter. Let's go back a number of years.
What we do here is go back.
And 8 years ago I did a review on these kind of Bodymax dumbbell hooks. But I think kind of max weight, they go up to maybe 50 kilograms, so 110 pounds. I suppose that's good for your kind of standard lifter. Anyone who's into kind of strength training, you're going to need, you're obviously going to be using a lot more kind of heavier kind of dumbbell weights. So these are your kind of cheapest dumbbell hooks. But would I recommend these? What the heck? This bit here, the kind of rubber is wearing away. This bit here, this kind of bottom metal frame, without using the Velcro straps, you couldn't get a secure enough grip to actually use these. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend these. Let's see, 2023 comes along. Looked online, found a company called Mad Spotter. Decided to get their kind of latest dumbbell hook. Two main differences. Alright, so you've got the kind of rubber material that goes around the metal frame. The Bodymax one stops here. Second design change, bottom part of the design, they've made it more like a kind of dumbbell handle. Let's just get a close up here of that. This comes with Velcro wraps, but you don't need them. I don't use them. The main reason for using the Velcro wraps is so that you avoid the kind of metal and metal contact with the dumbbell handle. Feels really good in the hands, pretty damn comfortable in my opinion. Really feels like you're kind of gripping a dumbbell handle. These are a lot more, well, far more heavy duty than the Bodymax ones down here. And these allow you to go up to 80 kilogram dumbbells, so that's 176 pounds. This is obviously kind of premium quality. This is far cheaper. This is a little bit more expensive than the Bodymax one, but buying cheap isn't always the kind of way to go. So I would be ditching the Bodymax one or any kind of similar versions you see online on Amazon. Now, fast forwards to their Mad Spotter upgraded version. It looks pretty much similar in design, similar size, just kind of minor upgrades, which has made it far more heavy duty compared to the original. So you've got this kind of crossbar section. I can only assume this allows heavier dumbbells to be used, so it makes it much more stable, more secure, much more stronger. Still jet black in appearance, which I love, but the major design is in the kind of bottom part. With the original, as I showed you earlier, you had the kind of knurling, more kind of like a dumbbell handle, whereas in the upgraded version, they've got rid of the need for kind of using the kind of Velcro wraps, sorry, not straps. And they've got rid of the knurling and they're using a kind of durable kind of nylon material now. It's quite stiff, The nylon material just moves ever so slightly, but it's designed to provide kind of maximum comfort now. Now this, from what I believe, from checking out the kind of Mad Spotter website, you cannot buy anymore. So if anyone wants to kind of purchase this from me, it's 50,000. But that's pounds, UK British pounds. I'm just kidding, by the way.
Running into night and night bus stop. I'm making an entrance. Trust drive on the side.
Because it's a wider base at the bottom, it does feel like I'm kind of lifting a thick grip dumbbell handle, which isn't a bad thing. Still feels really good. Back to the kind of the Mad Spotter kind of 2.0 material version. If I grip it, it just feels like I'm gripping the actual Ironmaster dumbbell itself. It doesn't feel like I'm lifting a kind of thick grip implement at all. But I suppose that is the advantage of using kind of material instead of a kind of steel handle.
Well, there's no problem. If you had a gun, shoot him in the head.
Good news in regards to the Mad Spotter Dumbbell Hooks 2.0. In the past, I've made videos in regards to using these adjustable dumbbells by Brain Gain. Nuobell style adjustable dumbbells, they look exactly like Nuobell. One of my disappointments in the past was that I couldn't use them with Mad Spotter dumbbell hooks. But yeah, the old style of the Mad Spotter hooks didn't fit these adjustable dumbbells. Big massive gap. But the new ones do. So gripping the dumbbells, first impressions before I even take the dumbbell off the rack, my thumbs are getting pinched. These are the bits I'm talking about, okay? These little rubber bits. You also get these on the Bodymax dumbbell hooks as well. Now I'll post up my hand size measurement, okay? But my hand definitely goes pretty close, right? It's a kind of, it's a good fit, right? This side in the hand where my pinky is feels fine, nothing wrong there. But the inside, and I don't feel this with the old kind of Mad Spotter hooks, but inside my thumb, right, this part here on my thumb, there's a wee indentation there. When I grip the hooks, right, if I'm kind of squeezing tight, my thumb is kind of interacting with this kind of wee rubber bit on the inside. A little bit too much. Focus. Right, so see that there? So I actually physically need to move my hand over more towards the kind of pinky side, right, to the outside, just to try and avoid that. But for people with kind of larger hand sizes, I don't know, you might not be able to do that. Now, when I go to unrack it, as soon as the dumbbell hooks kind of touch the bar, the dumbbell itself starts to turn in my hand. Could be an issue, I don't know, we'll see. We'll keep going up in the weight. The plan was to kind of work up to kind of heavier weights, but before I do that, I'm going to switch these 2.0 Mad Spotter hooks with the old ones, just to see if there is a difference. So using the same weight. Right, so straight away, without even kind of removing the dumbbells from the, from the barbell, there's no pinching at all. right? But these kind of old ones don't have those kind of rubber stoppers, so there's no pinching of the thumbs here. The handle itself just feels like there's more kind of space, but definitely no pinch to the thumbs. So if I take the hooks off the rack, right, I'll just do 10 reps. So again, this is the one that feels, or this design is the previous one, it feels like it's a kind of thicker grip. But in my opinion, still feels really good. Feels solid, so. Right, so rack that. If I just take that off and do the same before, when I'm racking the kind of older hooks, the dumbbells aren't spinning in my hand. Still that kind of pinching right there, you know, leading up to my kind of thumb. Yeah. Just for the record, the dumbbells actually weigh more. I just don't count the 0.2 and the 0.1 kilogram stuff. Yeah, 10. Yeah. This last set, this is, well, I count this as 30 kilograms, but the real weight is 34 kilograms. Yeah, so if I take this weight just now, I've mentioned this previously, where the weight just, see that there, where it kind of, it easily turns, and I'll do the same when I kind of switch the dumbbell hooks around. Yeah, so anyway, let's see how many reps I can get. Yeah. Not bad for not training over a week. Right, so I've switched to the old version of the Mad Spotter hooks. You know, where it's a kind of dumbbell handle. So last time when I did this with the Mad Spotter 2.0 hooks, I could grip the dumbbell by the side and turn it, so the actual dumbbell would actually shift like that. If I try and tip this to the side so the actual whole dumbbell moves, it's not budging at all. Absolutely not budging. Right. Let's do this. And hopefully not get injured. Lost my groove there. Probably not a good idea to switch from a thinner handle when you're handling kind of heavy weight to more of a kind of fat grip, because it is a different feeling. So got 11 reps, felt like I could have got 12 there, but kind of lost the groove, so don't want to injure myself. The old version of the kind of Mad Spotter still feels really good. I like them. It would have been wise to kind of strip down the weight and just kind of build up gradually to the kind of heavier weight, but fuck it. No pinching at all. No pinching in the thumb, inside the thumb area. Comes down to personal preference in regards to whether you like to use a kind of standard grip, which is what you get if you use the Mad Spotter 2.0 version. Gives you that kind of natural kind of true grip. So basically you're gripping whatever size of dumbbell handle you are using. So if you prefer more of a kind of fat grip style, the older version is better. How you doing, folks? I'm Rob, aka Home Gym Physique, and this is us in the present times, November 2025, and I just thought to kind of finish off this video, I would recap on some of the things I've kind of brought up during this video regarding the Mad Spotter hooks. So, here we go. Number of years ago, before I decided to go with the Mad Spotter dumbbell hooks, I contacted a company, UK company, and because I noticed that these things were kind of going round at the time, custom made dumbbell holders for power racks. I mean, this thing's heavy duty, kind of weighs a ton. Just this bit here just slides into your rack. So this bit here protects your dumbbells to avoid metal on metal. Slides into your rack, as so. Place a dumbbell on top. Today's demonstration I'm using Ironmaster dumbbells. I can't remember the exact cost, but it was probably about 3 times as much as your Mad Spotter hooks. But I thought, I'm going to try it. I want to see, because at the time I was getting sick of having to clean the dumbbells, you know, from the floor onto my lap, and then get them into position before I do any dumbbell bench pressing. So I thought, yeah, these will be really handy, good for the power rack. However, there was one main issue from what I recall anyway, which I'm going to demonstrate now. So I found the width of my power rack and with the width of the dumbbell safety holders, these never came out far enough. So basically I'm having to put my hands, when I'm coming up like that, I'm having to put my hands out wide, right? And that for me is a big no-no. That's just too risky for the old shoulders. Basically, right, and I'm just using light weights just now, okay? But you can see that kind of instability already because I'm starting out too wide, right? So take these out and then you'll notice that I bring them in, right? So I'm a bit there, right? That's comfortable for me. And then obviously I'll do a few reps here. Right, you can see the width of my hands. right? And then if I want to go and rack the weights again, see how wide I'm going, right? And because you're only playing with these bits here, right, which aren't too, aren't too wide, it makes me nervous when if I was using kind of lighter weights, it makes me nervous that I miss, that this dumbbell here misses the lip of this safety bit here and then falls through the gap, So, very risky. This for me, this design is not good. For one, if I remove that dumbbell, there's no back feature here, right? There's no back protector. And when you're kind of unracking a barbell, right, you've got a J-cup there, which the bar hits against. With here, you're bringing dumbbells back. This dumbbell, you bring it back too far, it's going off the end, right? So that's not a good design feature, to be honest, right? Well, that's a feature that this design lacks, seriously lacks. These have an advantage over the kind of custom made dumbbell holders that's attached to your rack, right? They are just static, right? You can't move them. You can move them in height, change the height, but you can't change if your preference for benching is, keeping your hands closer together. You can't change that with the kind of custom made ones, right? With the kind of much more affordable ones, these have the advantage. If you're a wide grip bench presser, right, you just slap them on like that. If you're a close grip bencher, bring them in closer, right? That's done in seconds, easy peasy. So you can't do that with the power rack dumbbell holders, but with these things you can. Much better. Start again. Cut. Right, there is another product in the market and it's called Spot Grips. These have been around for a number of years. They have the company has their own website. You can check it out, just Google it. But they also sell their product through Watson Gym Company, UK company. So, but the difference between these kind of Spot Grips and say versus the Mad Spot or Dumbbell Hooks, when someone kind of gives out, say they're doing dumbbell bench pressing and they can't press anymore, or let's say worst case scenario they get injured, as soon as they release the handles in the Spot Grips, they stop in motion. So it's a really clever design feature. However, the price for it is $500. That's a shit ton of money for me. At this point in time, I don't have the money to actually kind of, to give it a shot. So in my opinion, these priced, they might be in sale just now, I don't know, but I think the typical price is something like $80 or less. I think that's maybe about £60 in UK money, which I think is a bargain, right? If you can get it for cheaper, if you can get it on sale, then definitely, get yourself a pair. As I've said in the previous the video, you'll be able to use dumbbells up to, was it 110 kilograms, which is something like 242 pounds, I believe, which is, let's face it, for the typical gym lifter, and I'm including myself in that, I'm not going to be lifting anywhere near those types of weights. There's just no way. So these are more than heavy duty enough to accommodate for training purposes. They may not have that kind of safety aspect as the kind of Spot Grips have, but they're good enough for me, so I'll be sticking with these. So gripping the dumbbells, first impressions before I even take the dumbbell off the rack, my thumbs are getting pinched. when I go to unrack it, as soon as the dumbbell hooks kind of touch the bar, the dumbbell itself starts to turn in my hand. Could be an issue, don't know, we'll see. Obviously there's people out there who are kind of old school lifters and they don't believe in the kind of dumbbell hooks, and you know, if you can't lift a certain weight then why bother, you know. But I mean, I used to be that way myself, and then at some point I get injured, and then I had to kind of let, you know, get that ego, that, you know, that typical kind of you know, strength ego out the door, and then let common sense prevail, and ended up making the switch to, you know, using dumbbell hooks, and ever since I've kind of liked it, you know, I've enjoyed using it and I can see the benefits of it. I mean, one benefit of using the hooks is that, you know, you can get into kind of proper, I'm not going to demonstrate this solely, but you can get into kind of proper bench press position, you know, where you kind of retract your, you know, your scapula and all that stuff, in order to kind of, you know, prevent kind of shoulder issues and things. So whereas if you're kind of cleaning dumbbells, and again, you know, I'm talking about heavy weights here, right? If you're, you know, relatively speaking, but if you're cleaning dumbbells from the floor, getting into that kind of proper position is pretty tough to do, you know.